I am 88 years old, and the most expensive thing I ever bought was $3,000 I gave my own son, because it cost me 11 years with him, and I never got them back. I want to be careful here, because this is not a story about a bad boy. David is not a bad boy. He is 61 now, and he is a decent man, and I love him. That is what makes it worth telling. If he had been a scoundrel, there would be no lesson in it. The whole point is that he was good and I was generous, and it still went wrong. And it went wrong in a way I have since watched happen to 4 other families in this town. It was 93. He had a shop, and the shop was going under, and he came and sat in that chair right there, and he could not look at me. He asked for 3,000. I had it. I had put it aside slow, the way you do when you have lived the way I have lived, and I gave him every dollar of it that same afternoon, and I felt like a father when I did it. Here is what I did wrong, and it was not the money. I told him not to worry about paying it back. I thought I was being kind. I thought I was taking the weight off him. What I actually did was leave the thing open forever, because a debt with no terms does not go away. It just stops being a debt and turns into a fact about the two of you. And now every single time we were in a room together, that $3,000 was in the room too, and neither of us would say its name. He started coming around less, not all at once. First he missed a Sunday, then he stopped staying for supper, he would drop the children and go. Then it was holidays only, then it was the phone. And the whole time I told myself he was busy because the other explanation was one I did not want. The other explanation was the true one. He could not stand to look at me. Not because I asked about the money. I never asked, not once in 11 years. And I want you to hear that, because people assume the father must have been nagging him. I never said a word. But my silence was worse than asking would have been, because it left him alone in there with it. Every time he saw me, he saw a man he owed and could not repay, and no man can take that over and over. So he stopped seeing me. 11 years. His daughter went from 6 to 17, and I saw her maybe a dozen times. I missed the whole middle of that child's life over $3,000 I did not even need. What broke it was Ruth. She was dying and she knew it, and she had David come and she said, "Your father is going to be alone soon, and I am not leaving him like this." And she made us sit down at that table, and she made him say the number out loud. $3,000. He said it, and he cried. And I have not seen that man cry since he was 9. And do you know what he had believed for 11 years? He thought I was disappointed in him. That is what he thought the whole time. He thought I had given him that money and then watched him fail with it and thought less of him. I had never thought that for 1 second, not one. He had built a whole decade out of a thing that was never in my head, and he built it because I had not given him any way to close the thing out. We settled it in about 4 minutes once it was said out loud. He paid me $100. I took it. That was the part that mattered, that I took it. He paid the rest over 2 years, 40 and 60 at a time, and it was never about the money, it was about him being allowed to stand square with his father again. The day he handed me the last of it, he stood in the kitchen and he was taller. That was 2004. I have had 22 good years with my son since, and I would trade every dollar I have ever saved for the 11 I lost. So here is what I would tell you, and it comes from a man who paid full price for it. If somebody you love asks you for money and you decide to give it, then decide which one it is before you hand it over, and say it out loud. Either it is a gift, and you say the word gift, and you say, "I will never mention this again and I never want it back." Or it is a loan, and then it has a number and it has a date and you write it on a piece of paper, and it can be $40 a month for 6 years. The amount does not matter at all. What matters is that there is a door out. What you must never do is the thing I did. Never leave it open and call that kindness. Do not tell them not to worry about it. That is not mercy, that is a debt with no end on it, and it will eat the relationship slowly from the inside while you both stand there being polite. And one more, because this is the frugal man part of it, and you would expect it from me. Do not lend what you cannot afford to lose. Not because they might not pay, because if you cannot afford to lose it, you will be watching, and they will feel you watching every time. Money you can afford to lose is quiet money. Money you need back has a voice, and they will hear it even when you never say a word. I lived my whole life carefully. I heated a house on $9 a winter, and I have not bought a bottle of cleaner since '62, and I am proud of every bit of that. But being careful with money is not the same as being careful with people, And I learned that at 78 years old at a kitchen table with my wife dying in the next room, which is far too late to learn anything. If you have one of these open right now, with a son or a daughter or a brother, and it has been sitting there a year or 5 years, and nobody says the name of it, go say the number out loud this week. Say it kindly. Say it first before they have to. You will get your person back faster than you think, and you will not spend 11 years the way I did. If that was worth your evening, do an old man a kindness and leave me a comment. Tell me if there is one sitting open in your family right now, because I promise you are not the only one, and I would like to know I said this to somebody who needed it. And come sit with me again. I will keep the pot on the back of the stove.